So good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it is morning in Salt Lake City. It's 1 in the morning. So it's 3 in the morning in New York, and it's about 10, almost 10 in the morning in Eretz Yisrael. So instead of waiting until I get up in the morning to do the video, decided to do it before I go to sleep. So Salt Lake City, exactly. So first time here, literally just landed in the little Airbnb here for Shabbos, working a couple days in Utah next week. So here we are. Just a quick thought. So this week, Brit Sadik, a few pieces I did last year with my chavrusa, Sammy, but the first piece we didn't do. Maybe it was too difficult or something. Usually what I used to do is kind of scout out which pieces are too difficult, skip those and do the other ones. This year I say, you know what, let's just always try to see if we do the first one at least. So this week was like 3 pages long, and we almost finished it, which is not bad. So here we go. So first piece of the Brit Sadik in Vayera talks about Vayera. We all know what did Hashem do. There's no dibur here. There's no vayomer. There's no vayidaber. There's vayera, elav Hashem. What took place? What happened? So all Mefarshim, Hashem came bikur cholim. There was no dibur, and the Brit Sadik says this is literally 3 days after the bris milah. So there's a different relationship now that Hashem has with Abraham and with the rest of the Jewish people forever. Before bris milah, there's a certain level of nevuah that Avram got. There's a certain level of diber, but it was a certain time. You speak to Abraham, so that's the kesher you have, that moment, that time. When it's over, it's over. Bris milah is different. So with bris milah, there's no start and stop ever. It's always a presence Hashem has with Abraham. Similar, I think, that with Moshe. Moshe couldn't be with his wife because Moshe always had to be this high level of tahara, because at any moment Hashem could speak to Moshe. So the same thing Brit Sadik says here, Vayera, that there's a new level of awareness that Hashem has with the Jewish people, and there's no dibur needed. There's nothing required. Hashem is always belev of Yisrael. That's the first point he says. The second piece, he goes on to say that while a Jew has a certain level of kedusha, no matter what happens, a guy is the other way around. So I don't know how PC this is going to sound. It's okay. Most people will be okay with it, I'm pretty sure. This week's parsha, it says, stay with the chamorim. There's a reference that Yishmael is like the chamor. And we know that there's a Gemara that talks about, that it compares that a guy is like a chamor. We know in Erechin, we want to weigh a person, what their arm is worth, what their body is worth. We weigh it. We put in the actual bones of a chamor. That's similar to a person. So there's certain, without being too disrespectful, even though every person is a tzelem Elokim at some level, but as far as holy neshama, and a Jew is a Jew, and a guy is a guy. Let's not let's not go crazy here. So a certain level of that even an Eved has a certain way to get higher than a guy. A guy becomes an Eved Kanani. He now has to do mitzvos. He has to get a bris milah. So a certain level, he goes free at Yovel. So certain levels of kedusha, even if you have a guy that works for a Jew, there's a certain level that he can attain that's higher than a guy, as opposed to just a regular guy. And the question is, why is that? A Jew could work in South Carolina, fly to Utah, and a guy could go to South Carolina and go to Utah. What's the difference? Why is a guy like a chamar? So the Brit Sadik says there's shar and a chamar. A shar, even though a shar works, the shar can go higher. A shar, you can eat a shar, it's kosher. You eat the shar. So even though shar pulls the plow, there's a certain level that it can go higher. You can eat it. A chamar, it can never go higher. A chamar can never go higher. A chamar will be a chamar. It's going to push things. It's going to pull things, and it's going to die a chamar. Nothing higher. You can't eat it, it's not kosher. And this is what the Pri Tzaddik is talking about, that a Jewish person with bris milah, even though they're working, still, if their libo is l'shem shemayim, they can go higher. Lasad Levo, the guy are going to come to Hashem and say, we did all these things for the Jews. And Hashem's going to say, you're a shotim, you only did it for yourself. Well, what's the difference? If you're doing something for a Jew, even if they meant it for themselves, no. The point is that if a guy does something for themselves, even if at some point the Jew is going to partake in it or benefit from it, their machshava, their thought is only for themselves, so it doesn't count for anything. A Jew, on the other hand, who works and schleps and does things, but as long as they're l'shem shemayim, they're saying, you know what, I'm working so I can free myself up to have a better Shabbos. Or I'm working hard so my kids can go to school and tuition, and I'm working hard so I can get a night seder with chavusa. That's a different type of work. So while a Jew gets higher and higher through bris milah and a closeness of Hashem, the guy, on the other hand, like a chamar, will never rise to anything spiritual. And there you go. Shabbat shalom.